Thank you for tuning in to The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. We're going to go ahead and get into the psychic reading about the YouTuber Etika. So this is a psychic reading request from a family member of mine who is very much into video games and video game culture. So I'm familiar with Etika because I think it was 2016, when I was introduced to Steven Universe. I was introduced to Etika by way of this particular family member, and I thought he stood out to me because he was very attractive. Really attractive. I loved to watch him with his shirt off. Didn't give a fuck about whether he was playing goddamn Super Mario. Shit, he could have been playing motherfucking checkers. I was going to look at him. All right. So we're doing a personality analysis about this particular individual to figure out, a little about who they were, because I don't know too much about him. I just know that E! News reported that he had passed away. So the card that I get is the card for the hedonist, which is talking about this particular individual, Etika, being someone that was I see that he made a lot of money, but he also spent a lot of money as well. So I'm saying this as though like he spent a lot of money on alcohol, food, drugs, and it's like he wanted to use the money that he had to build his platform initially, but I feel that he started to become overwhelmed with like not being disciplined, like just having too much money. And I'm saying the hedonist card is being about him just like he was almost like a kid without any, a kid that had been raised in the wild, like he didn't know how to deal with his fame, so to speak. He didn't know how to use it responsibly, but I see that he felt that he had to constantly please people and that people wanted things from him. And also I'm getting that he felt like people didn't see him for who he truly was. Like no matter how genuine he thought he was being, it seemed that people could never accept him for what he showed them. He felt like and this is all in his head. I'm saying this, the hedonist card is all about like his fans are kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, we like you for who you are. And I see him saying things like, people want things from me that I can't provide. So the mother card is out. So I see that he's an individual that has issues in the home, particularly revolving around his birth mother and his birth mother attending to him. I get that he's someone that felt he had to do outrageous things just to get his mom to pay attention to him, and I see that his mom probably had a very stoic energy, and that his mom also appears like the way she's showing up in these cards. I get that she's kind of she's not a woman of many words, and I get that she wasn't very affectionate. I'm also seeing that he felt guilty for having so much personality, creativity, and intelligence, and he was someone that was insecure, insecure about the family that he came from. Kind of like, why is it that I'm so successful? Kind of envious of other people's parents and their families. I get the card for the companion. So he's someone that was he's someone that had issues with codependency. So I'm saying it as he was someone that either needed to be in a relationship all the time, or he needed to be around friends all the time. And when I'm seeing that in, maybe in the past 2 or 3 years, he had isolated himself from his friends and companions, and that's not healthy for him. He's someone that didn't like being codependent, and I don't think that he learned how to find strength and victory in his codependence to turn his codependence into interdependence, cooperation, and maybe even perhaps like yeah, I'm saying like he needs to turn the energy of codependence and interdependence and cooperation so that he can learn that collaboration, like he's someone that needed to collaborate with more people. As his platform had expanded, he needed to put on other people, bring his friends into it, bring his girlfriend into it. But he wasn't doing those things. He just got overwhelmed by the responsibilities. And and if he had taken the initiative to bring those people around him, he wouldn't have felt so isolated and alone. And perhaps some of those voices could have been shut out in his head. The child wounded card is here and is speaking about him blaming his dysfunctional relationships on his parents. And I do feel that I don't think that he went to see a therapist, but rather I feel that he had wise friends around him who told him to detach from his childhood experiences, stop blaming his parents for his issues, and to start taking responsibility for those things. However, he never healed himself from this blame shifting pathology. So he stopped shifting the blame to towards his parents and put the blame on himself. And I see him being someone that was in his, in his final years, he was extremely hard on himself, always thinking about I see that he felt like he was the underdog, and it was better for him to take himself out than for him to fail. That's what he was afraid of. He was like, I'm afraid to fail, and I'd rather fail on purpose and say that it's because I did it. And it's a defeatist attitude. He didn't ever really believe in himself, but he was always astonished and shocked at his fame. He was someone that was very grateful for his fame from moment to moment, because it was sometimes difficult for him to internalize all the success that he had been accumulating. The martyr card is speaking about him is someone that is saying that he felt, and I'm going to pull some more cards, it's saying that he felt that he felt that he was bringing in a coolness to YouTube, that he felt, and the God card came out, he felt like he was bringing in a coolness to YouTube, that he was helping nerdy people, he was helping boys that were nerdy and a little bit offbeat get a little bit more shine. He was enjoying the international stardom, is what I'm saying. And the God card is also talking about him being, he had a lot of compassion for his YouTube audience, but I'm also saying that he felt like God was outside of him. He felt like there was this external force that was always critiquing him, always in his head, never telling him that he's good enough. And but here's the thing. He's very fearless. So even though he had all of these psychological, although he had these psychological challenges hindering him from moving towards his goal, they were like a ball and chain on his ankle. He still got towards he still achieved his goal. He was someone that, the thing is he started to give up, is what the cards are saying, is he's someone that started to give up. So the first thing that I really want to know is that, did this guy, why did this gentleman, did someone do any spiritual work to him? Did someone do any spiritual work to him? Is anyone doing spiritual? Did anyone perform spiritual work on him? There's a girl that he had gotten pregnant that aborted a baby by him. There's a girl, and I don't think she's black, but there's a girl that he had gotten pregnant. He had gotten this girl pregnant. She aborted a child by him, and I feel like this is about a relationship, and this girl. I don't think that this girl did spiritual work to him. I don't think she put spiritual work on him. I think that the abortion is what hurt him, and I feel like he was hiding. I get this energy that he's not this energy, but I'm hearing the message very strongly that he felt that he needed to hide. He needed to hide this girl from his audience, to keep the relationship private. He needed to keep the relationship private, and that the cards are still speaking. That he felt like he needed to keep the relationship private because he didn't want her to tell the truth about him. I get that he wanted to have a family, and he did have his own family issues, and I see him having money problems due to constant fighting with this girlfriend that he was with. But I don't know if I don't know if they live together though. Which is another thing. I don't know if they live together, which is very important in the context of this reading. I don't think that she performed any spiritual work on him. I think that this was an added. I feel like his death, the answers behind his death, is a multifaceted question. But I really, I feel like the answer behind his death is multifaceted. But I don't feel like this is because of spiritual anything. In regards to spiritual work. I see that he felt like he had to walk away from the relationship because he wanted the kid. He wanted the kid, and I feel like he was ambivalent about it because of his career. And he felt like he was going to be in bondage by her. And that I'm also saying his mental health being brought up here, that because he didn't tell anyone about this either. I feel like this is something that he was trying to keep to himself, and I get let me see. Was he a private person? Was he a very private person? Because I'm saying this is like he's damn near isolated. Like I don't even want to say this as though he lives double lives or anything, but I feel like this is more of like, for anybody that's watched Being Mary Jane or How to Get Away with Murder, how you have a black woman who she has this very private lifestyle that no one knows about except the people that are involved in it. And I feel like that's the energy that I'm getting from him. So was he a very private? He had a lot of financial problems, and I see it as like though there was a lot of money coming in and there were opportunities for travel, like for him, he didn't take those. I feel like there were opportunities where maybe it was YouTube or another institution asking to fly him out, but he wouldn't do it. And he felt like he felt like he felt like he was the king of YouTube, and he felt like he had a platform to defend. And a lot of this I'm saying is it like being in his head. Like as far as like feeling as though people are always watching his next move and wanting him to fail. Kind of, and he's like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this lifestyle. The thing is, for a long time he was going back and forth about whether to celebrate his success or not. Why was that? Because he couldn't get his mom to acknowledge it the way, and he can't or respect it. And I feel like he may have used his money to help her out, and that didn't better their relationship. The cards are still speaking, and the cards are now speaking about him. It's almost like he wanted to give up on YouTube, and he tried to seek out other types of work opportunities, but then he's like, I don't really have any other employable skills. Like, what is it that I could do? But I'm also seeing him not wanting a lot of fame as well, but wanting fame. Like, he wants the fame, but he didn't. All of this is in his head. So if this doesn't make sense, I'm just letting you know the things that he's thinking. Okay, so let's see. did he let me see why, because I don't know too much about him, but why did he, from the E-News, why did he choose to disappear? Why was he missing for so long? Why was he missing? He got into a fight with somebody that he was living with. And I think it was a girl. I don't know. Well, yeah, I said earlier, I'm not sure if they were living together, but he got into a fight with this girl that he was living with, and I see that she stood her ground with him. And it may have been it, or if it's not a girl that he's in a relationship with, it was his mom. But he was trying to stand his ground with her, and she just cut off the situation altogether, because she felt like. This is romantic. This is a girl. She felt like, and it's like a long time girl. This is a long term relationship. They've been dealing with each other for a while, and she felt like she's like, you can't continue buying my affection, and he's like, this is my soulmate. This girl, like, he was really into her, and he surveilled her a lot, always watching her, and she knew this. Well, damn, I wish that I had polled you all for some questions, but shit, maybe we'll do a follow-up reading, but I want to see really quickly, what, with this particular, gentleman, Etika, what brought about, his mental health problems? It is hereditary. It's in his DNA. So he was already predisposed to like having emotional issues. Like his energy was very scattered. I get that he was someone that was always happy, a comedian telling dark jokes, using dark humor, saying a lot of dark stuff, hoping that people would laugh at it because he wanted to feel better about the ideas in his head. But it's from his father's side is what the cards are saying. And I'm also saying that if he had his dad around, that his dad would have helped him to better deal with his mental problems. But they're saying that what really work to trigger these things are him not knowing how to expand his business, him also feeling like he had to constantly produce so much content for so little money and becoming the fool. It's like, should I walk? Him feeling like he has to walk away from this because he felt like his YouTube audience was at a certain point just laughing at him. And over sexualizing him. And I think that these things were happening. Not, I don't think that these things should have resounded in his head. Not resounded, but reverberated throughout in his head, to such a high frequency. But it's almost like he chose to focus on the naysayers rather than focusing on the more positive forms of criticism and compliments that he was receiving. Because I see a lot of praises in these cards. They're saying that he also went back and forth about I don't know why I hear like drowning, but I feel like he has talked about or thought about like drowning himself or had a fascination with like asphyxiation and things of that nature. And I feel like sometimes with his YouTube audience, he was I want to say he was using his YouTube audiences as a space to vent, and it was almost kind of obvious that he was venting sometimes to people. And I think that because he was so funny and charismatic, people may have not been able to read through it, is what the cards are telling me. Let's see. Why did he take down all his videos? He felt like he was like, my profits are declining, and this is kind of weird. He's like, my profits are declining. My profits are declining. I mean, people not really watching my videos. I'm gonna continue doing the same stuff. Da da da. He felt like things were getting way too repetitive, and for the money, it's like YouTube kept changing the metrics, and he didn't want to take the risk. He didn't want to risk losing his position in terms of his popularity, but at the same time, he felt like it was time for him to take a break, because he felt that people. He's like, do y'all really love me? Y'all really fucking with me, or like, are y'all really fucking with me? Are y'all messing with me, or are y'all supporting me? The cars are still speaking, and they're speaking about him. They're speaking about him having like missing the old, like he's like, I miss the old days when I just had to be myself. He almost felt like he had to choreograph some of his shows at a certain point. And he felt like, again, I feel like he said that I feel very strongly that he felt that things were getting incredibly repetitive. All right, so we're gonna just look at how did he go about passing? What transpired when he died? Like, what transpired? He actually was thinking about he was thinking about coming back to YouTube, but he was like, hell no, I can't do that shit. I see a huge internal struggle. In the words of Peach Blossom, when she sees this car, she like, who fighting? Who the fuck fighting? But yeah, it's the cars are saying that he was thinking about trying to make a gargantuan return back to YouTube, and emotionally overwhelmed with doing so, feeling like he could return back to his success. He could return back to his same level of fame, but not wanting the cruelty that comes with it. And I'm saying this as he was also reading a lot of his hate mail as well. I see like him like obsessively trying to read his hate mail, feeling like, and then telling himself there may not be a space for him in this community anymore. Is this something that people really want for him to do? I see him asking all of those questions to himself. You know what I mean? I feel like there was definitely we'll just leave that card out. Okay, so when we have to think about Romeo and Juliet, I'm just let this card, a knife wound and payments. Like he paid somebody for, they will also find drugs in his system. They'll find both. The knife wounds and the drugs. Yeah, that's what I see it as, knife wounds and drugs. That's what they're going to find. In regards to this particular gentleman. As I said before, as indicated by the Book of the Dead, it usually takes about 40 days for people to cross over. So I can't do a reading on what messages I could have for this particular gentleman, but we're gonna do a little bit more reading on his energy. So what do we need to know about his energy as of right now? What's crazy is that he's very calm, like in death. Like right now, as of right now, and watching his and he's enjoying the fame. He feels like everything has paid off for him, which is crazy. He's very there's a deep satisfaction here behind the amount of attention that he's garnered. for this, and he felt like he felt like this was how things were supposed to end anyway for him, especially because of that relationship ending that we spoke about earlier. He's watching this girl cry over him, and this is what he wanted. He wanted her to hurt. He's getting, and he's like, you know what? I'm getting you back. He's like, I'm getting you back. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, he's saying, look, I proposed to you. I said I loved you. I said what you wanted. I couldn't get you back. You broke my heart. Girl, guess what? I'm gonna take myself out and die. Fuck you. And he's looking back on it. He's looking back on himself, walking away. Here's him walking away from his soul. His soul walking away from his soul walking away from his body. Okay, so he's like, shit. He's like, I don't know what was a heavier burden to carry, my audience or my soulmate. So yeah, I'm going to go and get my spirit board, and I'm going to use my spirit board to do a little bit of contacting, his ancestors. Okay, I just want to say that when you see the spirit board, I want to let you all know I'm not the originator of this particular method. People have used, and there is no originator of this method, to be honest with you. People have used spirit boards for since the no, honestly, people, because it's a pagan practice. People and you can learn about this on my site, but people have used spirit boards for hundreds and hundreds of years. Okay, people have used pendulums for hundreds and hundreds of years, and people have used planchets in place of pendulums to divine information. Okay, so it's not, it's just uncommon for people to use it, but it's, I'm not the first to do it, and the first person that did it, probably thousands of years ago. So anyway, they're saying Etika's energy is not wanting to be venerated for crossing over, because he doesn't want to cross over, and it's because he is trying to stay at an extremely low vibration. Period. No, exclamation point. He is going to, so his energy is going to rest within about, it's going to take his energy about 60 days to rest and to cross over. If you want to enlist yourself to helping him in his crossing over, then petition for your ancestors to help you with doing this. So exclamation point. So ask your ancestors to help this particular individual cross over, okay? But his energy is not really ready to cross over, and the best way that I can explain this to you is that his energy, doesn't want to cross over because it still wants to troll people. And I have to say that his energy still wants to troll people even though it's passed away, okay? All right, y'all. With that being said, I've got to end the show right here. But before I go, I want to let you all know that you can, if anybody's interested in working with me, make sure that you check out the Gold Digger program. So go to bit.ly/Black Spectrum Network. Or you can call 770-883-2098, and we'll get you some information about the program. text that number or whatever, or go to blackspectrumnetwork.com, because that's where you'll find information about the Gold Digger program for $500. It's a 6-week course. You're going to learn about African spirituality, learn about your ancestors and all of that. If anybody's interested in purchasing a private psychic reading with me, my readings are extremely accurate. I bring you results. My spiritual work actually works. And I want to thank everyone in my audience. Sorry, I want to thank every one of my subscribers that's watching this reading. So thank you all for tuning in I'm sorry, I'm tongue tied. Thank you all for tuning in to the reading produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button on this channel to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. Now, everybody say this with me, because I know y'all know it, okay? Before I go, I leave you with these words of wisdom from the rapper Dreezy. Okay, say it with me. Gave mercy to these hoes. What would Jesus do? All right, y'all. I'm your reader, Next Zoe, and remember, the truth is always collaborative. Bye.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh, I love this skyline view. Ooh.